In this video, I want to introduce you to a new and unique spray foam product. This is it here. It's made by DAP. It's a single component spray foam, and it's designed to fill the gap between jobs that you might handle with something like this, just a spray foam can, and on the other end of the spectrum, calling in a spray foam contractor with the trouble and expense of that. There are plenty of situations where you need something in between, and that's what this is. It's a single component, so it doesn't require any adjusting. You don't have to get the component A and B balanced correctly. It cures in about 15 minutes or so. It's hard to the touch then. Trimmable within 45 minutes or so, or an hour, and fully cured in 24 hours. So the kit comes with the tank, disposable tank, and then this hose and nozzle kit with a wrench for connecting the hose to the tank. Now, we're going to be putting some of this stuff on in the project we're working on here. In the meantime, I just wanted to connect it for you, show you how it all goes together, and then we'll go inside and spray a bit of foam. Now, this foam is recommended to be applied at a 1/2 inch thickness initially. And once that is hard to the touch, then you can add more layers. You don't want to add too many layers at once because it gives off heat as it cures, and you don't want too much heat to be developed. So 1/2 inch layers, you're not going to have any nasty surprises with that. It expands about 300% after it comes out of the nozzle, so it's really good at filling gaps and cracks, just like spray foam is. So let's get this thing connected and we'll see how it works. So just opening up the hardware here. This spray nozzle is a little more sophisticated than what you might expect. It's got a variable flow control, so you can dial in more or less foam delivery. Let's just get this off. A wrench in here and some different nozzles as well, replacement nozzles. It's important to make sure that the product is well mixed, so you're going to want to do this for at least 30 seconds or so. The canister should be room temperature too, and not just in room temperature for an hour or something like that, but thoroughly room temperature. The application environment should be between 40 degrees Fahrenheit and 120, so that's a pretty wide range. As long as it's substantially above freezing and not crazy hot like a sauna, you're going to be fine with something like that. Now, when we get in there to do the spraying, I'm going to turn this on, and we're just going to see how that works under actual field conditions. I forgot to mention earlier that the kit comes with replaceable nozzles, and you can reuse this, so you don't need to necessarily finish the whole canister. You can shut it off and then clean out the line in the gun with the usual spray foam solvent, so you don't necessarily have to use it all at once. And these are the extra nozzles. They just screw onto the end like this. These gloves came with it too. It's a good idea. If you've ever worked with spray foam, you know that once it's hard, it doesn't really come off very easily, even with solvent. The solvent only works when the foam is still soft, but that's the way it works. I have the tank shut off at the moment, and this is the control. So that's off, low flow, medium flow, high flow. I'm just going to start it on low, and we'll see how it works. We're going to work on this stud cavity here, lay down a 1/2 inch layer in the corners and then between, and we'll see it harden up and apply a little bit more. Okay, valve's turned on. Some foam has flowed into the hose, but nothing out the nozzle yet, so let's see what it'll do on low. I like to start in the corners of every stud cavity and just fill that in as best I can, and then move into the central portion. It's pretty easy to put on more than a 1/2 inch at one time, so you need to be sure to move quickly. You can also dial down the flow rate on this gun, but even still, you got to keep moving because the foam is always coming out. It's not the end of the world if you go a little bit past ½ inch, but that's what you should shoot for. Let it harden, and then if you want to apply more, you just go over it again after it's started to harden and cure and give off its heat and things like that. But fast movement and hitting all of the empty spots, that's what you want to aim for. So there you have it, the DAP wall and cavity foam system in action. Where might you use something like this? Well, as I said, it's for in-between jobs. One that immediately springs to mind is the rim joist area. That's where the first floor joists meet an outside wall and form the ceiling of the basement. You simply cannot insulate that area properly with anything other than spray foam. You can try with fiberglass and vapor barrier and things, but it's just not going to work very well. So, and that's also an application where calling in a spray foam contractor for that, smallish, medium-sized job is going to be unnecessarily expensive. So also other areas where you have to touch up small buildings, small additions like the one we're working on here, or any kind of touch-up insulation in and around, attic hatches, things like that. I think you'll find it would work pretty well. I know I've enjoyed it.